Recording in progress.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learnt about the component life cycle hooks, how they work. So, how the component methods means the entire React flow. We have learnt about the React flow. So, what actions performed by various phases like mount phase, update phase, and unmount phase. You need to remember the actions performed, right? So when events are registered, events are registered in a mount phase. When state is initialized at the time of constructing an object. So these points are important to understand. When properties are configured at the time of creating an object for that component. So these are all concepts. Now, once we know this, now we can understand another important concept today about routing in React. How this routing works in React. We pronounce this as route, not route, right? So routing. So what is the concept of routing and how it is important for our applications? Let's actually in web designing, I already told you one point, state management, I told you. Actually, web development, designing any web application, any technology, Java, .NET, PHP, Python, Web UI, any web development involves some techniques. So actually web development is about dealing with objects and dealing with different types of techniques. Web development is about two basic things regularly. In every technology, they are same. It is about some objects and it is about some techniques. What are the objects that you regularly see in web development? In the web designing, the common objects we have like request object, response object, we have like session object, application object, cookie object, These all objects. Web designing is about dealing with these objects. So request is to fetch data from client. Response is to send data to client. And session, application, cookies, we already learned. They store data and maintain data for that application. It involves a lot of techniques. What are different techniques like data binding, style binding, class binding, event binding, state management. So like we have caching. These are all techniques. Routing. These all comes under techniques. Model binding. These are all techniques. Any web technology have to deal with them. So any web developer have to deal with them. So all technologies have to involve with this. So web designing is about this. For example, suppose you are developing an application for web using Java. Then you use actually JSP, which is Java Server Pages. JSP is for developing websites, web applications using Java. Which language is used for JSP? The language is used for JSP is Java. Java is used for JSP. Now the question is, if Java is used for JSP, then what is in JSP to learn? We already know Java. Then what is there in JSP to learn? For example, .NET people use ASP.NET. ASP.NET uses a language called C#. If we use C# as a language, then what is there in ASP.NET? So that means Python, Django. So Flask, some frameworks are there. They use Python as language. Then what is there in them to learn? They provide different objects and techniques. Through those objects and techniques, we need to build an application. And every web technology have to deal with these objects and techniques. And you almost know all these objects and techniques. Different types of objects, different types of techniques. Web development is all about objects and techniques. So if anyone asks what is state management? State management is a technique of maintaining data. So what is style binding? What is class binding? Event binding? These are all called techniques. So what is caching? Caching is a technique of storing the frequently requested data in the memory to save round trips. That is caching. So what is routing? So actually, routing is a technique. Routing is a technique used in web applications to configure user and SEO friendly URLs. They are used to configure user and SEO friendly URLs. So routing is a technique used in web application to configure user friendly, SEO friendly URLs. So what is meant by user friendly URLs? What is meant by SEO friendly URLs? What is the concept here of user friendly, SEO friendly? What is meant by user friendly URL means, for example, one important is For example, I don't know from how many years you are using internet, but do you know in the beginning of internet, when we started using internet, I personally when started using internet, do you know even today I have my old diary. In that diary, I have a list of website addresses noted down. Website addresses, list of some website addresses noted down in a diary. So means I'm not sure from how many years you are using internet. In early days when we started using internet, so we need to go to a cyber point, means internet cafe, and website address. I'm talking about we don't have Google. Google was not born at that time. So we used to use MSN, we used to use Ask Me, like so Bing, so many other uh, search engines were there, but very not very popular. So Yahoo and all search engines were there at that time. Google not there at that time. Do you know we go to internet point, open a browser and type the website address. Some mistake we done in that address, then it doesn't open. No suggestion also. That means there is no suggestion like you mean this, you mean that, are you looking for this? Nothing. Several times we came back. So without using internet, because we forgot the address, we are unable to remember the address. It looks like a joke at this moment. Like you are saying that you forgot the website address and you are unable to open internet. Of course, at that time, the URLs were very strict. If you miss anything in the URL, it will not open. There is no alternative, suggestions, nothing. We don't have inbuilt search engines. These days, browsers will build with search engines inbuilt. We don't have that. Exactly URL you have to type. We need to make a note of website addresses in diaries, carry the diary and watch it and type the address and open a website. So that is the process. Even we search, we don't get them in the results because we don't have so many popular search engines. That is the concept of websites URLs at that time, URLs. Now, now you can see in the address bar, you don't need to type a website address. You just type some words. You type some words. So it will just access what you are looking for. That is because of routing. Routing was not there in early days of web development. Once routing started, URLs become user friendly. User can directly search and locate what he wants from the URL itself. That is the nature of routing. Routing allows you to query any content directly from the URL. User friendly URL. Earlier, very complicated. For example, earlier, that means, so I will show you here. That means here, first point, user friendly URL allows to query any content directly from address bar. User friendly URL allows to query any content directly from address bar. So it can fetch data from a page and return as result. And return as result. That is user friendly. You can't even remember the URL regularly because it is very lengthy. Actually, so just I will give you without routing. Suppose URL is like this: https://amazon www amazon.in slash some electronics, say shop dot some. I will give traditional some HTML something. Actually, it will be like ASP, JSP, PHP like that. So we have a question mark. So category is equal to electronics, ampersand, and product is equal to some mobiles. Again, ampersand. So model is equal to some Samsung. Like this, we need to have. I will just keep a short one, some Apple, something like this. This is without route, our URLs are so complex. Now with route, even route also have that query strings, but it becomes little simple. Means querying becomes simple. Amazon.in. So shop in that electronics, in that mobiles, in that Apple. That looks simple. That means even user can easily remember and he can query what he wants. So what he looking for. So earlier it is very complex. So even today you will have the query strings and all, but query strings are implicitly added later. We can just use the queries like this. As I already showed you, Amazon, right? So as I already showed you, when we open Amazon, suppose in Amazon, I want some watches related information. Just I can put amazon.in/watches like this. Then directly it will get me that Amazon watches related information. Directly it will get me that. I can query directly. However, it later adds your query strings and other things. But we can simply query just watches, just mobiles. It will get me what I am looking for. Earlier, remembering this lengthy URLs is difficult. Using them is difficult. So now it becomes simple. It is easy. Not only that, so that is user friendly. What is SEO friendly means? Search engine friendly URLs. One of the advantage of this is they exactly know what you have used. They can know the exact location. Earlier, this was also a big problem. Again, same, from how many years you are using YouTube? Have you used YouTube when YouTube was introduced? No. So when we started YouTube, when YouTube was introduced, because we are from the generation of Orkut, you are from Facebook. We know Yahoo groups, Orkut, that was the social networking before Facebook. Before Facebook, people used to use Orkut, Google's social networking, and Yahoo groups, which was so early. After that, this Facebook, Google's, all these came, social related. Even YouTube born at that time. When YouTube came first time, earlier also, Facebook was not open to everybody. When they introduced first Facebook, I hope you people know, you need a referral. That means somebody who is the member of Facebook need to refer you, then you can register an account in Facebook. Even Google also like that. If you want to a Gmail, somebody who have a Gmail have to refer you, then you will get a Gmail account. Earlier was like that because they can't give for everybody. Is now millions are there. Now the point is when YouTube initially came, so do you know what is the problem? So a lot of videos were there, categories, videos were there. And we are talking about know much analytics and artificial intelligence. So 1 hour, 1.5 hour, I spent some time, and finally I found one video related to some topic on YouTube. 1 hour I searched different categories. Finally, I found a video which I am looking for. That 1 hour where I searched, how I searched, I don't remember anything. 1 hour I searched here and there, and finally I got some video. Now I closed it and I want to show that video to some of my friend in another computer. Now again I need to search. Again I need to search. I don't know how 1 hour what I searched, where I searched, which category it belongs to, subcategory, something. Earlier YouTube was like that. Now you open YouTube, it will start from where you left the video. Right? We were not using such environment earlier. That means now what a website can do, it can track exactly which one you watch. For example, do you know they will even track across apps? That means your Android will track across apps. That means you are opening Make My Trip in your mobile and search for flights. Some Delhi, Hyderabad, some flights. Close Make My Trip. Now open YouTube and Facebook. You will find advertisement for that. Advertisement for Make My Trip and same stations that you searched in YouTube. How come this happened? It is not about just Make My Trip advertisement in YouTube. You will find exactly the same stations that you searched. Do you know on your mobiles, usually application track data, share data. I already told you APIs. What is distributed computing? I explained, right? So distributed computing, they share information between apps. That means how an app knows. Remember, see, knowing which page you watched, that is easy. But in the page what you watched, that is difficult. That is possible with routing. Routing enables that facility. Means only routing is not enough. Routing enables that facility so that we can know exactly what user is watching. We can take him exactly to that location. That is SEO friendly URLs. So that means what is SEO friendly URL? SEO friendly URL allow to track the exact location in a page and navigate user to specified location. So these are, that means they can directly take you to the location where, means not taking you to the page. They are taking you to the location in the page. That is important. Taking you to a page is easily done with the history. By history, we can access which page they visited. But tracking down the location inside the page is important. Another point here is that means this is the main concept. And actually, routing can be configured, both server side routing will be there and client side routing also will be there. Routing can be configured both server side and client side. Server side, your server side applications, server side APIs also will use routing. In the next level, I will show you MERN stack application, how to build that. Then we will see server side, we create an app. That server side app will communicate with the database. And that server side app also have routes. That means we have routing both client side. Of course, you have seen. So which one you saw? Fake store. How was fake store if you remembered? So https:// so fake store api.com/what products/1. That is route. Otherwise, how it should be? If it is not using routes, otherwise how it should be? So fake store api.com slash some data question mark product products. So products not, yeah. So data, suppose data.jsp php something question mark product is equal to what? One, like that. That means earlier, just I'm giving a point. That means it is also using routing. Of course, you saw that, right? So when you saw these fake store people, what they say, they provide an API and you see what they do. They provide routes. They provide the routes. And what are the routes? One route to access all products, another route to access specific product, another route to access categories. These are routes. And this is server-side routing. Server-side routing. So server-side routing is used by server-side applications. Server-side applications for handling interaction with users and APIs User interaction server side, and it is managed by routing. And what is client side routing is doing is client side routes. Client side routing allows to design SPA environment. What is it? Single page application environment. What is the SPA environment is nothing but user stays on one page and gets access to everything onto the page. What is the specialty here is routing uses implicit AJAX. It uses implicit AJAX. It loads new content into a page without reloading the page. For that actually we need a lot of AJAX. And of course, you people, if you learned any libraries like jQuery and all, you know in jQuery also we can build these routes. If you know jQuery and all such things. So that means even in JavaScript also we can do. That means, but we have to explicitly build the routes. In jQuery, JavaScript, if you have an idea of jQuery, you know jQuery AJAX methods will be there. By using them, we create a single page application environment. We build the routes by using jQuery AJAX, but explicitly we have to use AJAX. What is the specialty of this routing is implicitly it is using AJAX. So you stay on one page and everything comes onto that page. So, and when new content comes onto the page, it will not reload the complete page. Without reloading the complete page, it will add new data into the page. That is what asynchronously it can manage. So that is the concept of routing. So client side, server side routing is known to every web technology. So that means routing is not only for React. every front-end web technology is using routing. Every server-side technology is also using routing. This is not a uh, exclusive concept of some technology. It is a common thing in every web design. In every web application, it is a common concept. So every technology teaches .NET, JSP, PHP, all these people. Now client side to handle routing in our React. So we need a routing library. And unfortunately, routing is not regularly updated. So like React version. Means routing library is not inbuilt available with React. It is not a third party library, but it is not a part of React. We have to add routing to React. Routing is separately built. It is not built along with React. It is separately built. That is the reason routing versions different, React version different. Currently, our React version is 18x. Routing version currently is version 6. Version 6. Because version routing is one concept which is not regularly updated. Regularly updated. So very drastic changes if they have to make, then they will update the routing. That means till now we have lot of versions of React, but only two major versions of routing used in companies. Version 5, version 6. Previous, uh, before 18, we used to use version 5. From 18, we are using version 6. And even today, online, on internet, when you watch YouTube videos and all, so many tutorials will be on version 5 only, which is not used anymore in 18 version. In 18 version, we use version 6. Unfortunately, version 6 is not advanced to version 5. It is completely reconstructed. Reconstructed means redesign. That means what routing people know about routing in React earlier, their routing and now routing different. That means 5 years back, anybody learned React. 4 years back, anybody learned. 2 years back, anybody learned React. Their routing and our routing is now different. Because we migrated from old version to new, and new version is not advanced, it is completely rebuilt. Rebuilt means they changed the library, they changed the approach, they changed so many things. Complete library changed. That is the reason you should be aware that currently our React 18 using which version of routing? Routing 6, version 6, right? And version 6, version 5, complete different. Concept will be similar, but complete different. What you import is different. How you configure is different. So many changes are there. So actually, so React provides two major versions of provides two major versions of routing. Two major versions of routing. So one is V5 and V6. Actually, this is React Router DOM version 5 and React Router DOM, that is version 6. V6 is a complete rebuild of routing for React 18x version. It is a complete rebuild. So it is complete rebuild. So version 6, version 5, they are completely different. So you see here, So this is reactrouter.com. This is the official website of React Router. This means this is not directly the React community. This is the reactrouter.com. This is separate. Router is separate. So this is separate. That means regularly changes are not made into this. That means whenever your React version changes, routing version will not change. Routing version very rarely changes. That changed in 18. Before 18, it was majority everywhere we were using 5, version 5. And this is the official React router. And this is currently, so the routing version, this is see the new 6.4. And this is old version. They have to give you that as an highlight in the home page itself because majority projects are still using it. That means if you say I am on version 5, they will give you all the help about that version 5. And version 5 library also different. Means how you import, what you import, how you configure, that changes. In version 6 they made little improvements. They made it simple, easy, better. Right. So actually, if you see version 5, this is version 5. And this is backward compatible package. I already told you, if you remembered, about this term, backward compatibility, when we discussed about inheritance and aggregation concept in classes. That means what is backward compatibility? Backward compatibility means even a higher version is available, we can still use the older. You build a higher version project, we can use older version routing in it. That means it is possible to use version 5 in 18 also. That means in 18, we can use both version 5 as well as version 6, but they recommend version 6. But still some people may use this version 5, backward compatible. It is backward compatible and its approach is completely different. How to configure the routes, how to handle the routes. And version 4, 5, before 5.1, they used to use this kind of approach. They used to have separate library is separate. They used to use like switches, routes. Now we don't have these switch and all. And we don't have this syntactical concept every time. That means you will see that completely changes. How it changes, I will show you the point, right? So first concept is the version of routing we are going to use in our 18 is version 6. So how to implement and how to use this routing in our project. Let's see one example, how to do that. So to set up routing in our project, because routing is not inbuilt available for our React application. So set up routing. So for that, what you have to do is install router DOM library for project. Install the router DOM library for project. So npm install React router DOM and save. So router DOM library provides various components to configure routes. What are the components we have? Browser router, routes, route, outlet, link. These are important components. Browser router, routes, route, outlet, and link. These are the components so required for configuring the routes. Here, browser router, actually this browser router creates a virtual, it creates a virtual dome. It creates a virtual dome route that maps to actual dome, that maps to actual dome. In actual dome, which object is responsible for handling navigation? Which JavaScript object is responsible for handling navigation in a web page? Location object. Location object. You know JavaScript location object. JavaScript have a location. In JavaScript, how you will navigate from one page to another? By using location. Location href, location hash. Dynamic navigation in JavaScript is managed by using location. So that means our browser router will use that location in the actual DOM. It maps to that. Virtual DOM, browser router will manage, and that must be navigated there. So here the key point is all routes must be configured inside browser router. Browser router, that is mandatory. All the routes must be configured inside browser router. We have to configure inside browser router. Browser router is that. And you remembered the first level diagram we saw in the React flow. What routes, what are the routes that an application can serve whenever client requests? Where is all that information? It is present in a route table. Route table. That route table is built by this routes and route. It is used to construct a route table. That means on which request, which component have to be delivered. That virtual route table is created by these routes. So what is routes? So routes is a collection of routes. Collection of routes is a collection of routes. It configures a routing table. It configures a routing table. Every individual route in routing table is defined by using route. It is defined by using route. And each route comprises of two basic properties. One is path, another one is element. Every route comprises of two basic properties. Lot of properties will be there. Main properties are two. One is path, another one is element. So every route comprises of a path and element. Route, path and route element. That means now finally how the routes are designed is syntactically we have a browser router. Inside the browser router we have routes. Inside the routes we have a route. Path is equal to, so the path name, and element is equal to markup or component. You can directly render the markup or component. Later you will learn about child routes, how to handle them. So we can have different route names and routes. This is the routes and this is the browser router. Browser router. That is how we do. So all the routes must be inside this browser router. Anything outside this browser router will not work as a route. All the navigation system should work inside that scope. Now we will see one basic example, how we can define, how we can configure and access. Remember, it is a very big concept. So there is no hurry in questions about it. Why? Because it's a very big concept. It will take 2-3 days time to learn everything about routing. You are just in the beginning. Routing has a lot of internal concepts to learn. So at high level, so many are there. Level by level, we will explore all of them. So lot of doubts will come. How to do like this, like that. We'll see. All answers will come once you start learning every point. So level by level, we will see everything about that. So first basic routes is how do you configure the routes? Let's see. I am defining a simple application. Okay. So here I am adding some images already with there. I think we have some images already. So suppose I will use some free pics. So developer, something like this. So just roughly, suppose we have some images and we copy some image, right? These are all basic images. We have some image, we'll take it, right? And I will just download this image. Prefix is very popularly used by developers for finding free images without any copyright issues. So I will copy this into my project folder. Okay, let me copy this. That means just I want to design one simple interface for that. Actually, that is the reason I'm copying this. It is in our React project. So just let me rename developer. Okay, so let's say we will create one component now. So in the components, I'm adding a new folder, portfolio. Portfolio. Okay, so this I will add here portfolio dot .jsx and export function and portfolio. So it will return a simple markup. That means we will have a div. So container fluid. Okay. Now in this, I will add some portfolio dot css. Okay. So here we are adding some portfolio CSS. We will just keep it like this initially. So we have a div and a class name as profile pic. So here we are having a header part. Okay. And a profile pic. Just roughly I added this. And usually this is there. And in the next division, I'm having. So React developer. So let's keep it in a span. We will put some navigation like, so that means React developer and another division. So my projects. So, and here I say my resume. And here I have a span. Suppose about me, something like this. They are just spans I configured there. And let's say class as deflex, justify content around. I'm just using it. Padding is 4:3 pg as suppose dark text as white. This is just a portfolio and we will import. So dot slash portfolio dot css. In this, we are having some dot profile pic. So background color is a background image. We are having the image. What is that image? So that is developer. Yep. So that is developer.jpg we are having there right side. Now, once it is there, so border radius is 50%. So width is 100 and height is 100. 100 like this. Now I will add this into the startup index.js. It should start with which one? Portfolio. Start. Okay. Now initially we will create one simple interface. Not what we are going to do is we will install the router DOM. npm install react router DOM and save. So we are installing the react router DOM, and by default when you install, every package will install its latest versions. If you have to install any older version, that means you are trying to install any older version, then only one additional thing what you have to do is when you run the command, here we have to mention version 5 and like that. Any package, but you have to exactly know the version number, correct? So if you mismatch the numbers 5.1, 5.6 like that, if you mismatch, it will not work. So any library, older version, if you have to install, maximum older versions are defined with an at the net and the version number. So it will not install the latest. If you don't mention this, it will get you the latest. Whatever latest is there, it is going to set up that. Right? So this is ready. So, and we have the portfolio here. And what is it? In the portfolio dot css profile pic. So it is in Publica. That image is not there. Why? Developer.jpg only, na? Acha, background image URL I am not using. Background image URL, right? So it is in which one? Public. So developer.jpg. So it is not having public required. So it is displaying the image. Achha, this is not having an image. I will just use an image here first. IMG SRC. This is developer.jpg. So width is how much? 100. Height also how much? 100. So image is very lengthy. That is the reason here. What we will do, that means image is very bigger one. It's a large image. I will do one thing. I will open that image and put it only certain part. It is in which folder? E drive, F drive, React project, public, developer. It's a very huge image. I will do one thing. I'll just copy this part. Okay. Only that part I am doing and a small one. I'm adding a small part. So rough small image, let me take. That is enough. Okay. So that is the image we need. Right. So now what I need to do is set up this image in the same location, developer.jpg, and that image will be here. That's fine. All right. Then I will put this class name to that image so that I don't need this at all. Now it will display in this way, right? So I will just add that and some name below this. So we will go and set in the portfolio. Yeah. Below this and a heading like this, some John, something like this, and some name we are adding. And this is under this. Okay. And that is fine. Now we need other content also. That means this header have style and height 100 pixel. So just we are adding that 200 pixel. Fine. Fine. Now the navigation system, what we need to maintain here is this React developer class H1. That is the large. And these we will put a class as FS1, font size little large. Some 3 looks simple, normal, enough. Now what I need to do is just roughly I created this one. And what we need to do is now this when user selects like about and all these things. So deflex justify content between. So and class as mx2. Just some small. Okay. Later we will implement the navigation for that. Fine. Now what should happen is user should able to click on this and those details must come and display below. They are separately present at some place. We need to bring the details and display. That means user will stay here. Everything should come onto this now. That means now what I will do here below this, that means here you want to handle the routing and everywhere this entire should work in the routes. So what we need to do is make sure that everything is kept in which one? Browser router. In the browser router, you need to keep everything. Okay. In the browser router, initially header will come. At the top, header is there. That is fine. After the header, below in the section area, this is the section area. Section class I will give as BG dark, BG secondary, and text as white, something, and padding as 3. And style I initially give as height as 100 VH. So 100 VH I am giving. Now this is the rest of the content we are having. Now what we need to do is we need to set up navigation here. So about my projects, my resume, everything should come there. So initially, how do you configure the routes? We need to write what? Routes. Routes is a collection of routes. So what are the route paths you are expecting? So we have to write by using a route. So routes is having a collection of routes. Remember, all are imported from React Router DOM. Browser router, route, and routes. Right? Now, what is the route path? The route path, first route path is actually slash. Slash indicates what you should access and display if user is not requesting anything. That means whenever website opens, he will not request anything. By default, we have to send something. What we will send usually? Index, right? So when anybody opens, what should happen? Then I will put here an element. Element indicates any markup which you can design now. Or already markup is designed in a component, you can bring it here. So I will use the markup we will create here. I will just put a heading. That means we are designing the markup here directly. So first I am creating the markup here. So that means UI, so UX developer. So that is the heading we are giving. And you know that these markup requires containers. They require container and in the paragraph. So, and suppose we can define like, here we have HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So here React, something like this I defined there. Now usually this indicates what to render if user is not requesting anything. I'm not requesting anything. By default, it is directly the page. When I am not requesting anything, directly it will get me this home. You can put a lot of other content, whatever you want initially. Now, when user requests about me, then it should get about me. Then what we have to do is we need to design a route. And what is the route path you are expecting? Route path is about. What is the element? If path is about, what we do is we create a div and heading, so about me. So, and here I will put in some italic. So I will say here, I am a React developer. I am a React developer, something like this. And we will put a break and we will put some lorem, right? Some paragraph, something about. Now here, this is about. Now how you access that about? In the URL, in the address bar, slash, what is it? About, and hit enter. Then it should get that about and show here. That means it is going to access. However, we don't even just use that. We will use the links. Links we will see. But first, we can request anything directly from URL. In the URL, if I am not requesting anything, then what will happen? It is going to get me the home. It is going to get the home. If you are requesting anything, what is that? What is it about? Then it will get about. Now, similarly, so here I am defining, so another route. And the route path is projects. And element is expecting a container and heading as my projects. So, and here we have an unordered list. We have a list item, some to-do app. So we have a list item. So shopping app. So we have a list item. So suppose like video library. Something like this we are defining. And this is when you request what? When you request what? Projects. When you request projects, it is going to get and display. That means it is going to get that and display. So, and I define some, what is it? Another one we created is what? About. It will get about and show here. And it will display about. Now, for example, next, another route we are configuring. And what is the route path? Route path is what? Suppose resume. So what is element? Element uses a div. So heading like download my resume. And here I define anchor and href is equal to, this is something like resume.pdf, something. We don't have that, but just roughly I'm giving. So here I will give as what? So download. This is just a link we are defining. And it is going to get me that when I request what? Resume. Resume, and it is going to show me that option. So we will put a class name as link white. So it is going to get that text white is there. Or I will, yeah, that is download. And when download, it have any PDF, it will download it, right? So, PDFs, if you want to download, then not to open, then what you can do, you can put an attribute called download. You know that. Links have a download attribute which will always download the files, right? It is not going to show the file. Okay. Now the concept is I need to make them work through these links. Through those links, I need to make them work. That means user must able to click them. If I am not requesting anything, it will be like this. And suppose you requested something and it is not available. Then what we have to do is we have to write a path asterisk. This indicates what to show him if he is requesting something and it is not there. Then what we will do? Element. So we will put a div. So we will just keep a div. So we'll say, oops, right? So, and a brick. So unable to find your requested content, something like this. That is what we are giving. Just one message I am giving. Actually, better I will keep this in a heading. Okay, then I don't need a break. Now, what happens is in the URL, I am requesting something like work something. There is nothing like work or anything. And enter, then it should get me that and show. That means it is unable to find out what you are looking for. So if it is there, then it is going to get you that and show. If it is anything you requested not there, hello, something like this, then it is says not found. Right? Now we want these links to work. Then what we will do is we will make this as a link. You have a link element. Routes are not navigated using anchor. Routes are navigated using link element. We have a separate link element. And what is the link text? Link text is about me. And where it should navigate to. That means we have to use to. Navigate to which path? Which path? About. Similarly, and we will put a class name, BTN, and so BTN, this is what? Some primary or say warning, something like this. This is one link we are having, about me. And here we have another one. So we have another link. Link is a route. This link is a route element. It is not your link href style sheets tag. It is a component name. And what is the class name? BTN and BTN, some danger, something like this. And it should link to where? It should link to, so this is projects, my projects. Oh, sorry, projects. And what is the link text? Is my projects. That means it will get me that. And here resume. So this is also link, and link resume, and class name as BTN and BTN Lite. And it should link to where? Resume. Now what happens is, now I click on my projects, my about me, and my resume. All are working fine. That means we can access everything and we can display in one place. Actually, I am rendering what? I am rendering the direct markup. We can bring an existing component and use it. For example, suppose here we are having, I think we have a login screen, but this login screen we designed too complicated. That means we created by using some alignments and all this. If you have created in a reasonable way, then we can access here. Okay, fine. What we will do is, here we will create a route. Remember, this wildcard route, which is used to access when you requested anything and it is not found, it must be always last. All other routes, there is no order dependency. In any order you can write, but this must be in the last, in the logs, right? Order is important here. So route, and what is the route path? Route path is, which one you are looking for, suppose login. And what is the element? Element this time we have a login component. Login component. We will access that login component and put. Make sure that it is imported. Login is imported from that location. If it is imported from the location, then we can access that. And what we will do at the top, we will put another span. And in this span, it should link to which place? Login. And here I will keep a span again, and class BI, and BI person fill. We have person fill. That is nothing but it will show me a simple symbol there. I click on this, then it is going to get me the login and show. That means we can access the component and we can display the component. Directly that component will come here. It is going to access and show. That means we can use the component here. All the functionalities of that component is going to work here. All right. So this is how you create a simple navigation. Right. This is the concept of route. Now what you do every day, what we were doing earlier, you created one component, go to index, put it in startup. Now we don't do that. We just put only one in the startup and all we can access through routes. We will create one simple navigation system, through that we can access all. Right. Now we will see one simple interface with some real data. How to create route with real data, just like fake store and other. Then we can create our own routes with our own data also. We will see that. Right. That we will see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. Right. In tomorrow's session, we will see how to handle the same data. Routing, several more points are there. Route parameters, nested routes, child routes, route outlets, so many is there. So we will discuss about that. Tomorrow we will continue. Okay, right. This entire example I will upload into Classroom. Try it.